Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your financial card reading for the month of July 2021. I am Ulrich, I'm a Lenormand card reader, but this time we will use a financial deck for your card reading. The deck contains 44 cards and the laying is done with 3 cards, which you see here in front of me. You can also see 4 objects here on the table, meaning we will do 4 card readings for each astrological sign for the month of July 2021. And this video here is for you, Gemini. From these 4 objects you see here, you can choose one or you can pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice will then relate the best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards regarding that financial situation. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos and then after you saw all the 4 videos, you can choose then the one that relates most to your situation. So we have 4 readings. The first reading we're going to do is for the matches group, which relates to the fire sign. The second one is the stone who relates to the earth sign. The third one here is related to the aerosol or the air group. And the last one is the shell, and it's related to the water group for this month's Gemini July 2021. So here we go for your card reading, Gemini. There we go. So welcome, Gemini, and welcome to the matches or the fire group. We will start your reading now. So the first card that we see here, it's called Visual Reminders. Despite your best intentions, probably you neglect the question to yourself of buying. Maybe your memory or your mind is playing games on you for making this distinction between the necessities and the luxury. It tells you to acknowledge the importance of the articles in your basket or the articles that you buy or purchase online. It tells you to look at your current financial situation, and maybe for the moment it causes you some small worrying because you made some superficials, you spend some superficial money on things that you didn't really need. And this card reminds you that it's like it says, oh, you did it again. You forgot again to budget yourself. So this card want to teach you something. It want to set up a system, like a visual reminder, and it urges you to observe your own actions regarding your buying behavior. A very simple way to do this is, if you use your bank card for paying, you put a visual reminder on the bank card. It's like a small stamp. You put a sticker on your card, and when you see this reminder on your credit or on your debit card, when you're about to pay, you will see this reminder, which will allow you to mentally validate if this shopping that you're doing right now, or this article that you are buying, you're going to buy in the store or on the internet, is really essential for your needs. What you also can do is change your online shopping site passwords. I just give a simple example, like you change your password in truly necessary or even reasonable. It's just an example, but it makes you reflect while you do the action. Such a password, it makes you think twice before you confirm your financial transaction for actually purchasing this article. Of course, these visual aids, you will need to change them periodically because your brain will get used to the visual aids, and on the long run, you will start paying less attention to them. But also as you change them, it will remind you. So this card asks you to put on your glasses in a metaphorical way and look at your payments, put little reminders, and adjust your tendencies for superficial spendings. The second card here is about monthly payments. Each of us or each household pays small bills on telephone services, insurances, internet, whatever. And these reoccur in a systematic system. You pay probably still little attention to the things you pay monthly, but this card asks you that these people, because they add these small things every month, they don't even notice the increases. Sometimes even don't remember the major things that they monthly pay. They don't remember anymore in these monthly payments, that is. So the question here is, did you ever pay attention that some of your invoices were slightly increased without your consent? That's also one thing. Sometimes your company, it raises your bill without you actually giving permission. This is also what this card says. You need to check on that one. Normally, sometimes they don't even inform you as a customer. That's the point here. So it also tells you to take advantage if you buy something of discounts. Inform yourself about discounts if you make a certain purchase. Inform yourself if you want to buy something. Maybe there are discounts, coupons that you can use for these things. It tells you to use everything that you can for getting a discount. It tells you not to be conservative and not to be trusted in companies that you already work years of. Just control, because sometimes they don't even inform loyal customers from new discounts or new projects that they are doing. So it's important here that you control. Also, it tells you if you have insurances, the same thing. Check your insurance, see if there's no advantages they didn't tell you about that you can get for free. So and seek advice here. That is what this card tells you. Also, it tells you to inform yourself before a purchase, to inform yourself in magazines that test products. They do a test and then they inform the customer about the result of this test. So this card is also, it's about testing, comparing things. This is what this card tells you. This is like a card who protects your investments. It invests what you spend. So, or you can go to the library, inform you there about new purchases if they are important to make. How is their credibility, how loyal they are, how solid they are. So this is what this card tells you. It tells you with all this information that you gather, you can save small amounts of money who have a severe impact on your annual expenses, and you can save money with this. Maybe it's like you need to reevaluate the small expenses that you make. Then the last card we have here, it represents the youth or our approach, how youthful our approach is towards money. So you probably know the famous expression, boys will be boys, girls want to have fun, you know this. But also maybe you have catched yourself that you sometimes are a little bit financial reckless. You have been reckless in the past for spending. But what this card asks you, did you suffer from the impact of these outbursts? Maybe you did, maybe after you have regrets. So this is also why it's in context here of the visual reminders and see what you buy. So it's all a little bit in context here, so you need to see it in context. Regardless a person's age, cash management and optimization require a certain maturity. So this awareness is accentuated and perfected as we grow older. It's normal. It's the circle of life. However, some of us have been able to access these abilities for consumption control more earlier in life than others have done a longer time over this process. So this card tells you to reflect over a few ideas and compare your situation where you are in life with that of your peer group. It doesn't matter what your age, but it asks you to reflect where you are compared to your peer group and if you are happy with your situation. It asks you a question like, are you mature? Or do you still have spendthrift? Or do you have spendthrift if you're younger? Or are you wise already? And do you control these outbursts for buying or purchase articles? It tells you to remember that you are never too young to be financially mature, and you're never too old to financially change your behavior. That is what this card tells you. So if you have the advantage of youth and at the same time you are financially mature, this card tells you soon that all your efforts will be greatly rewarded. This is a very positive card. So if you make all the adjustments here that I told you for the month of July, you will soon you will experience benefits about these adjustments that you made. There will come rewards. If you have the assets of being already older and wiser and experienced, then it tells you to use these abilities in your own advantage and enjoy the gifts of life with moderation. And if you do so, then the rewards will follow also. So it's double. This speaks on the young and on the old. So it tells you to use your experiences that you have. So now we make a summarize of the 3 cards. So what does this tell us here? So the first card here is we try, if we have spendthrift, we put visuals on our credit cards to help us. We calculate before we spend. Here, check all your monthly payments, and if you can skip some things, or if you can have some financial advantages for the companies that you work with, just check them and double check if you cannot have discounts or things that are in your advantage. And here, this card tells you that you need to approach your things, your financial things, in a smart way, no matter if you're older or younger. Use your experience for advancing financially yourself. So, Gemini, that's all for the month of July, for this month, for the sign of the fire sign or the matches. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the stone or the reading for the stone group or the earth group. The first card we see here is the card of luck. It's actually a very positive card, this one. The card says, one of the meanings of this card is that, for instance, we say money don't bring happiness, but we need to admit that we are happy if we have enough of it. It also tells us that it's important to meet our basic needs first. For instance, we need shelter, we need food, we need a place to stay, a warm place, a place that makes us cool and makes us happy. It tells us to aspire to be happy and aspire for self-fulfillment. It also tells you that buying a new car regularly, every 4 or 5 years, is not a part of those essential needs. It asks you if you confuse the basic needs that we have as a human with luxury goods? It might do so, but it just poses you this question. Maybe you like to travel more, you want to spend more, but this card asks you if this will give you the complete feeling of happiness. Is this really what you want? You really want more money, or you want to be more happy? That is the question that is asked here. It asks you to take a break and to think about the pursuit of your own happiness. Do you aspire to a very high standard of living, or are you just happy with simple things, that you are safe, secure, insured, and that you have enough money and some savings in the side? If money was so strongly connected, this card tells you, why is it then that many people who have too much money are so unhappy and they see their money as a burden? I'm aware of the fact that if you have not enough of it, it's very hard. But this card asks you to reflect on your place. If you're really happy and if you really want to aspire to all of that, to so much money. Because if it were so, why are some people unhappy that have a lot of money? Of course, money is essential, as we said, to our basic needs. However, once the basic needs are fulfilled, maybe it is where we need to be. It tells you to enjoy the small things of life. Appreciate the people who are around you, the people that you like, the people that you love, a neighbor, a friend, your child, your partner, whatever. This card tells you that this might be the real deal. It also tells you that for now, your financial situation is somehow protected. The next card we have here is superficious. It means that it asks you, maybe you bought some small purchases lately, maybe several, and it asks you if you were able actually to avoid these purchases. How much money did you let go up in smoke without really actually generate its real value? It asks you to assess your expenses for the previous weeks and days and put your things on the table that you paid. Put your credit, debit card statements on the table, and asks yourself, what are the disbursements that you already have forgotten about? So could you have done without those? That's what this card tells you. It asks you maybe to make a note and make a sum of all these incidental costs, and then see where you arrive, and would you have been able to avoid some of these expenses? This card tells you probably you would have been. Maybe there were things there that you didn't actually need. And with this money that you would not have spent, what would you have been able to do with that money? Maybe, like most of us, you spend more than you actually think you do. But by limiting these luxuries, these extras, you can accumulate serious amounts of money. And with this money, maybe you can aspire to something that you already longed for a long time. You can repay some debts, you can invest in a retirement plan, you can invest in some land, you can invest in something that really makes you more stable. This card gives you the opportunity to think about your spending habits, maybe to redirect them. If you do so, there will be progress. You will take a financial step forward if you leave the small things that you don't actually need and you don't buy them. It will make you financially more healthy. The last card that we see here is the card of the gifts. We all like to receive and give gifts during holidays. Sometimes we even give in excess to the ones we love. but it also asks you, instead of buying gifts, are you creative in giving? Meaning, some things we have in our house and we can make something nice without actually spending a lot of time in the mall for searching for it, but just by being creative ourselves. It can makes you generous without actually putting pressure on your wallet. If you are more creative, for instance, you can, if your budget, if you don't want to spend and you really want to apply here and you want to adjust your expenses here, maybe you can, like you see here in the picture, you can make some jam, you dress it nice up, and you give to your loved ones. You can, like you see here, you see a ribbon here around, you can make a pot of jam, you can do things, or you can make something yourself. This will be greatly appreciated by the people who receive this gift for you, because you paid personal attention to them. You can buy dried ingredients, you can dry something and you can give dried foods as a gift. You can prepare yourself for the gifts that are to come. You can make preserved foods in glass, jam, as I said. You can dry herbs. Some people will really appreciate this kind of gifts, and at the same time, you will save a lot of money. So if you plan, you don't need to give, but you can also give, like you buy in bulk and you make several things that are in the same area. And with those things you buy in bulk, you can then give the presents to people around you. It will save you even more money. It also will save you a lot of money. So this card tells you to be creative with the money that you have. So we now summarize. The first card here, it says, money don't make happy, but it's easy. And it tells you to be happy with the things that you have, enjoy the things, enjoy the people around you. The middle card here, it says, don't spend money to things that you don't really need. Just skip the things that you don't need in your behavior of buying, and you will take a financial step really forward. And this card urges you not to look for presents, but if you can, you make them yourself, and you give them to friends or people close to you, and they will really appreciate this kind of gift. So, Gemini, for the stone or the earth group, this is all for the month of July. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Aerosol or the air group. The first card you see here is, this card represents evolving. It's a process and a part of life. So, and we all, and you also, we evolve over the years. Decades following on each other are not the same, and in a very short time, we came in a very different world, as we all know. For instance, 20 years ago, you would have found it unusual to pay large amount for a phone, for a cell phone. But now we are evolved. We pay large amounts for computers, we pay large amount for cell phones. So we pay also a large amount for services connected to this. For instance, for the internet, we pay also a lot. Some of these expenses are evolving, and this card tells you maybe that some things that you still have need to be re-evaluated or maybe eliminated, meaning things that are no longer important for you, but you still hold on to them for old time's sakes. For instance, you can have maybe a fixed landline, you pay a monthly amount for that, but actually nobody calls you anymore on the landline. So you can just dispose of it and you can save money that way. Another is, for instance, you have a subscription on TV channels, but actually you catch yourself always watching movies on the internet. So what is the use of the purpose of the subscription on the TV channel? If you are subscribed on a magazine, maybe the magazine is also available on the internet, and for the paper edition, maybe you need to pay 25-30% more. So you can skip those expenses. The question here is, we need to go along with the times, and things that are no longer needed, we just dispose of it. So you need to reevaluate your expenses, check what you pay, you don't need anymore, and try to dispose of these things. Times are changing. The next card that we see here is the card of youth. So you probably know the famous saying, boys will be boys and girls just want to have fun. So yes, that's a fact, and we all want to, but maybe in the past months, it's possible, or in the past times, you had some recklessness, financial recklessness. You spend some money, but now you see it costs you something, or you think it really costs me something financially. Maybe you suffer because of you had an outburst in something you purchased. So regardless a person's age, we need to manage our cash, we need to optimize it. It requires some form of maturity, and sometimes we don't give always in that maturity. So this card asks you to reevaluate this maturity. It asks you to be aware. As we get older, in normal circumstances, we get more aware, we get more perfect at it. But of course, it don't apply of all of us. But in general, it's a normal circle of life. However, those of us who've had quickly control over their consumption behavior, it make them move financially stronger in life compared to others. We all are different. So this card asks you to reflect over new insights, new ideas regarding to the situation where you are currently where you want to be, and you compare your situation with friends and where you want to be in life. Are you happy with your position? Do you want to change? Do you want to improve? Do you want to stay stable? So this card asks you to reflect about that. It tells you that you're never too young to be financially mature, but you're never too old to also to change your financial behavior. If you have the advantage of youth, at the same time, and you are financially mature, this card tells you that you will have soon results of the efforts. You will have rewards to come in the months to come. If you have the advantage or the asset of being older and wiser and experienced, and you use these abilities in the right way, the same will happen to you. Because this is a lucky card, you should use those advantages if you're older, enjoy the gifts of life with moderation, and if you do so, rewards will follow soon. This is what this card tells you. We need to be smart with the money we have. The last card is also a lucky card, so this is a very good financial laying for the sign of Gemini. They are all good, all the layings we had so far. We have a proverb that says that money don't bring happiness, but of course we all admit, and we know for sure that we need money to be happy. We need basic needs, we need food, we need shelter, we need a house, we need to take care of ourselves. This card asks you to aspire to self-fulfillment, to be happy. It also tells you that if you're in a current situation, the new motorcycle, the new car might be not the things that you aspire to. They may not be a part of things that you really want. This new motorcycle, this new car will not make you necessarily happy, or the new laptop. Maybe you can still go on a while with the things that you have. Of course, everybody like to have more, like to travel more, we like to spend more, but this card says it doesn't necessarily guarantee your feeling of completeness, of wholeness, of feeling happy with what you have. So it asks you to take a break and to think about your pursuit of happiness. So, and it asks you, are you happy with your current state of living, or do you want to improve? If you should be happy now where you are now, because it tells you if money would be so strongly connected to happiness, why are people who are extremely rich sometimes extremely unhappy? They see their money as a burden. I'm aware, as I said, that we need to meet our basic needs, of course. But this card wants to make you reflect over your current situation and how happy you are in your current situation. It tells you also to be happy and appreciate the little things in life. Be happy with what you have. Try to use the things that you have, optimize them, try to use them 100%. Try to take full advantage of all the things that you have in your house, from computer to car, and don't necessarily dispose of them if it's not needed. Maybe the real deal here is that the ones that are close to us are more important than the next new car, the next new computer, the ones we are close to or we feel close connected to. It can be a group, it can be our family. Maybe this is the essence. So we summarize now. Things in life evolve and you evolve also. So don't be conservative about expenses that you make. Check what you pay and dispose of what you don't need anymore. For payments, I mean. If you have payments that are unnecessary, that things that you don't no longer need, try to get rid of them. The second card tells you to use your money in a very wise way this month. If you're older and you are wiser, do it in your way. Use your money well and see where you are in position. If you have the luck of youth and you are wise already, both of you, older and wiser and younger and wiser, will improve soon if you apply what is here in the cards. And then the last card here, this tells you to be happy with what you have. So I think for the month of July here, for the sign of Gemini, this is all. We had the air group now. So this is all for the air group Gemini for July 2021. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, thank you for watching and see you next time. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to the Shell or the Water Group for this month's card reading for the month of July 2021. So the first card we see here is more a heavy card. It actually represents a difficult financial situation, and in some cases it can relate to bankruptcy. So the question here is that this card asks you, are you in a financial difficult situation right now, and does it torment you? Do you wake up about money? Do you have money problems? Did you reach a point of no return, Saturnal point? Are you Saturned? This card tells you if you are almost coming in that situation, you should take advice. You should go to, if it's related to your business, maybe you should take some advice of a specialist. If not, you should go to your bank and reevaluate your situation. This card also says that before you do so, and especially before you sign like your reorganization of your finances, you need to think about this. You need to think about the consequences that this is going to have on your daily life. Meaning there will be some cutbacks, and you need to be aware of those cutbacks. So also it tells you, this card, to think wisely and do more than only consult a professional. You need to evaluate where you are, the choices that are offered to you, the advantages, the disadvantages that it brings to you, if you are confronted with a very difficult financial situation. It also asks you to understand the impacts of this whole process. For some of us, they easily get over a bankruptcy, but the most of us, it's a long-term process, mentally and physically, that puts a very big strain on us. So it depends on your personality and how deep you are in the problems. However, whatever decision that you make, it always will have consequences. So this card tells you also, if you have certain things that you have in life, certain luxuries, maybe you need to, they will get less. If you are in a very difficult situation, maybe your luxuries will get less. Maybe you need to change your consumption habits, and maybe you need to realize what is important for you. It's important for all of us to have shelter and to have decent food, and that at the end of the month, our payments are made. So you need to reevaluate, reassess your whole financial situation regarding to your housekeeping and maybe to your business. It asks you also, like, it's like a general state of mind, a general state of behavior that you will need to change. It warns you now to do so before you hit the wall. If you did not reach the Saturnal point, the point of no return, that is. If you already have, you already know you need to make the changes, and ask somebody to help you. It's a reflection of your situation right now. It don't need to be dramatic, but in general, this is not an easy card. The next card here we have is proportion. It means that we put everything in its place, financially, that is. It tells us that everything in life is relative. We can only estimate the value of our money if we put it in context of our whole financial situation. For instance, a monthly payment for the loan for someone is different for everybody. If it's for a large family living in a poor country that live on one salary, it's very different than for a high-heeled family who has a lot of money. $2 or €2 has a very different effect on a low-income family compared to a high-heeled family. It can mean the difference for some of us, for some people, between eating and not eating. So this is what this card means. It means that money is not the same for everyone. $1 is not the same, or €1 is not the same for everyone. It's a simple concept, and yet for some of us it's difficult to understand. So also it tells you, maybe you don't count your expenses in terms of real amounts, but in percentages. It tells you to reevaluate and put everything in its context. You need to find a balanced budget, establish a relationship between the money and your salary, or to your expenses of your business, and what you really earn. This card tells you also that you are the one in charge. You are the one who's counting. You are the one who need to keep the proportions balanced. You need to ask yourself about the importance, the size of the disbursements that you are confronted with compared to your earnings and the expenses. You need to relativize your current expenses and educate yourself more on the ratios considered respectable, viable. So maybe like the old-fashioned way, take a piece of paper, make categories of importance and calculate your expenses, put them in categories, and then see what categories are out of proportion, and also what categories are important for your daily livelihood. If you see that some categories that are not important for your survival or for your person, just adjust the possibilities that are given to you. So it tells you to take the big picture, to make the big pictures. In some cases also, related to this card, if you have a very heavy financial period here, this card asks you if you're living beyond the means that you have right now. This is what these cards ask you. The last card we have here is awareness. It makes us reflect. So it's a little bit in line here with the rest of the cards. It tells us that we need to become aware of the whole situation that we are in. We need to improve it. We cannot stay where you are. And this tells you that you are the one who have the ability for making changes. This card tells you you probably don't accept the financial situation that you are in, and maybe you live in denial and you hope for better days. You're dreaming a little bit about it, but maybe it doesn't improve if you don't take action. You are the architect. You are the one to change it. You are the one in power to change things. If you want to keep them as they are, but maybe that is not possible. So maybe you need to change things. It tells you to take some time to reflect. As I said earlier, write your things down, note your impressions, write down also not only in categories, but like what you like. Write down what you like, write down what you don't like, list the present, list the future, things you hope for, aspire for, things you want to get rid of. So take a step back here. Look on top. Look where it's going. Evaluate the big picture. Maybe by taking a step back, you are giving yourself, that's why we have the binoculars here, you give yourself the gift of perspective. It's like a bird flying high in the sky, he can more easily see the prey. So this card tells you to take distance from and viewing your situation from a higher level. If you're not yet, if you did not yet hit the wall, or it's not yet severe, it tells you also not to be passive. That's what this card is: overview and not being passive. Don't put your head in the sand. You need to become aware of this situation and think about solution. The whole thing, if you do so and you act, it would greatly improve your whole situation. Because if you don't act, maybe it don't go in the right direction. Maybe it get worse. So re-evaluating, maybe you're in a very difficult situation right now. There are financial issues. You need to put everything in proportion, and you need to make a good overview. That is what this month's advice is from the cards for the sign of Gemini related to the water group. So Gemini, I hope you enjoyed your card reading for this month of July. If you did so, please subscribe to my channel if that's what you like. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.